Welcome back to Ben Keenan Just Can't Stop Talking, the water cooler episode, aka the 10-ish minute news and culture roundup, where we talk about everything that happened over the past 24 hours so that you are a little bit smarter about a lot of things. It is currently Wednesday, April 9th. Yeah, we made it. Hump day. Congratulations to you and yours. Just a little bit of housekeeping up front. There will not be episodes between Thursday and next Tuesday because I am actually taking a little trip across the pond with Delta Airlines. That is right. Delta is sending me and a plus one, my sister, but that is less important, to London for about 5 days where we get to go jaunt around, have some fish and chips, reminisce on a piece of my lore, which is me living there for a year between 2017 and 2018, and go to this really cool soccer game. So I will be vlogging that entire thing. So this is actually going to be your first time seeing me vlog on YouTube. If you don't already follow me on the other social media accounts, it's going to be different than that. It's going to be longer form. I've done it once for New Orleans. It's somewhere on the page right now if you wanted to go see it. But this one is actually going to be with my little Osmo Pocket 3. I'm a professional, y'all. Okay, and without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into the news because that's why you're here to start with. At least 44 people died and more than 160 others were injured after a roof fell in at a nightclub in Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. Apparently, this was an iconic nightclub with attendees that included politicians, athletes, performers, and more, all attending a merengue concert. Cardi B posted this big long post about how she's heartbroken. They are finding more dead people every single hour, you guys. So continue to pray for these individuals and their families because that really sucks. Oh my God, these were so smudgy. In a massive escalation, Donald Trump has increased reciprocal tariffs on China to 104% after China didn't remove their reciprocal tariffs on the US. For context, we import 16.5% of our imported goods from China, meaning that now nearly 1 in every 5 items that you buy will literally be double the price that it was yesterday. Thanks, Trump. In the words of Kamala Harris, I'm not going to say I told you so. Democratic Senator from Oregon, Ron Wyden, and Republican Senator from Kentucky, Rand Paul, announced a bipartisan resolution to end Trump's global tariffs. Cool. Only 2 issues with that. 1, Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson will never bring this to the floor to get an actual vote. And 2, even if he did bring this to the floor for a vote and it passed by the grace of God because the Republicans are kind of lockstep in fucking over the American people, Trump has already said that he is going to veto it. So what do we do now? The Denver Nuggets NBA team have fired their coach, Michael Malone, despite him being the winningest coach in franchise history and also winning the only championship in franchise history. Then they turned around and also fired their GM, Calvin Boot. It's giving recession core. In a new court filing, we learned that the IRS has agreed to share the personal information of undocumented taxpayers with ICE. I'm sorry, I understand everything that I'm reading to you today is absolute ass. All of the updates are the worst updates we could find, but that's what's going on in the world. Unfortunately, let me see if I can find something better for you. As of 12:45 p.m., the S&P 500 completely wiped out the full last year of gains with a new Signal poll reporting that 58% of Americans believe that we are currently in a recession. And yet, Trump's disapproval number is still only 55%. So I'm going to need to speak to that 3% of folks that think we're in a recession but somehow approve of what Trump is doing expeditiously. After filing for bankruptcy, Big Lots, the giant retail store with things that I actually have no idea that they are selling, announced store reopenings, and maybe it's a me thing, but I just don't know what bankruptcy is, I guess, because I always thought if you've gone bankrupt, I declare bankruptcy, that you are done. You have no money, you have no product, they sold it all off, and now suddenly everything is reopening. Explain that to me. Shouldn't failing businesses just kind of be gone? Why do they continue to reopen? They failed the first time. Why would they not fail the second time? I guess that's kind of some good news for the people who are really pro Big Lots. So there's some good news for the day. Texas's Republican Attorney General and the notoriously corrupt individual Ken Paxton has announced a primary challenge to Republican Senator John Cornyn. Now, while Ken Paxton potentially becoming a senator would be one of the worst things that I could really imagine happening to the Senate, the possibility of enough people hating him combined with the primary getting extremely nasty could be a very good opportunity for Texas for a Democrat, especially in a blue wave year, which is just something to consider when looking at who could potentially run, especially if former Rep. And former NFL player Colin Allred, former NFL player and lawyer Colin Allred decided to run again in Texas. He ran against Ted Cruz last year and did a ton better than Kamala did in the state of Texas. So he is outperforming the top of the ticket, right? So people could just show up to vote for him, especially if they hate Ken Paxton enough. Could 2026 be the year where Texas sees a Democratic senator? We will have to wait and see. And that's it. That is all the news of the day. People were really focused on Trump's tariffs and all the shit that he's doing to really, take down our economy and all that. So there wasn't that much other stuff that happened. As somebody that works in PR, we have informed all of our clients, do not touch the news cycle right now, especially with something good, because your news will be buried below all the something bad, I will be back next Wednesday with more news. I'll try to keep myself up to date on what the news is happening so I could do a longer episode on Wednesday, give you all the news that you've missed. But if you cannot wait until then, you can find me on social media and keep up with my little London escapades. I am on TikTok and YouTube at I've Been Traveling. I am on Instagram and Threads at Ben Keenan. I am here on the podcast, as always, at Ben Keenan Just Can't Stop Talking on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Until next week, have a jolly good weekend. Cheers.